Ken Jennings has corrected a Jeopardy! Fan in a snarky response during his hiatus as host. Ken was active on Twitter when he had the spicy exchange with a fan. The Jeopardy! Host retweeted a post from his publisher Scribner Books in promotion of his new book 100 Places to See After You Die. The book is a humorous look at some of the afterlife destinations you should explore after passing away. Ken said of his book, "I saw 100 places to see before you die. I looked at the title and thought, what if it was 100 places to die before you see? The more I thought about it, it went from a dumb joke to that might actually be a pretty fun book." A fan responded to this comment, referring to one of the places you might see after dying, hell. "I mean 7 layers of hell is a lot to see in itself," they wrote. Ken couldn't resist a quick, snarky correction to the tweet. 9. 7 is Mexican dip, he wrote. The fan didn't respond, but Ken was correct about both instances. Can you believe it? Meanwhile, Ken has urged fans not to watch an episode of the show live and instead attend his book launch event. On Monday, Ken shared a poster to promote his new book, 100 Places to See After You Die, on Twitter. Ken, 49, wrote, "Los Angeles. My book event is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. and you should totally miss Jeopardy! For this." He then added, "Okay, fine, you should DVR Jeopardy! For this." The show is currently being hosted by Mayim Bialik, 47, while Ken is on hiatus. Fans picked up on Ken's playful tone, with one writing, "Ken getting shady." Others shared their excitement for his book event, commenting, "There are few things I'd miss Jeopardy for." Okay, book club. I'd miss Jeopardy for book club. Many Jeopardy! Viewers who tuned in last week were not overly impressed with Mayim and her hosting style. In particular, they said that the mother of two takes too long to respond to contestants when they give their answers. Taking to Twitter, one viewer fumed, "As hard as I have tried, I do not care for Mayim Bialik hosting #Jeopardy. She pauses before she answers and it drives me crazy. And I'm spoiled from the masters." A second person agreed and replied, "My sentiments exactly. I think she waits for somebody in her ear to tell her whether the answer is accepted and it annoys me to no end, and then there's the master's hangover I have also." Ken Jennings has humor and charisma. A third viewer added, "It's funny you say that because my wife and I say the same thing about the weird pauses, although I don't mind her in general, but I think a lot of people prefer Ken Jennings." Earlier that week, other viewers begged Jeopardy! Producers to address the issue. Many people expressed that if Mayim isn't fast enough to mark the answers right or wrong, contestants might have time to keep adding to their responses and go from correct to incorrect in doing so. Ken wrapped the thrilling Jeopardy! Masters special, which was won by James Holzhauer. Underdog Mateo Roach, 24, came in a close second last week. Mayim, Ken's co-successor to Alex Trebek, is finishing out the regular season until the summer. Ken won't be seen until the 2023 Tournament of Champions, which will kick off Season 40 in September, barring the last week of Season 39. Ken Jennings, known for his quick wit and unmatched trivia prowess, found himself in the midst of a fiery online exchange despite being on hiatus from his hosting duties on Jeopardy! While enjoying a break from the long-running quiz show, Jennings still maintained a strong presence on social media, where he often interacted with fans. On this particular day, it all started innocuously enough. Ken, known for sharing quirky trivia facts and light-hearted humor on his Twitter account, posted a tweet about an obscure historical event. On this day in 1789, George Washington sent the first presidential Thanksgiving proclamation to Congress. Fun fact, it was actually delayed by an hour because Washington got lost on the way to the Capitol. True story. Jennings wrote, keeping his tone playful as usual. Most fans chuckled and responded with amusement, but one particular user wasn't having it. The fan, who went by the handle @Trivia Titan, responded in all caps, Actually, Ken, Washington didn't get lost. That's a myth. Everybody knows he had the route memorized. Check your facts before posting." The internet held its breath. Jennings, who normally replied with a gracious tone even to the most nitpicky of corrections, seemed to pause for a moment before firing back with a witty but biting reply. "Well, at Trivia Titan, you might want to double-check your sources," Jennings began. "Not everything they taught us in middle school is true, and as someone who's spent a little time around trivia, I can assure you, Washington didn't have Google Maps back then. Sometimes even great leaders make wrong turns, just like in trivia games." The comment instantly gained traction, with fans reacting to the tension in the air. Some users were quick to back up Jennings with supportive remarks, while others egged on the debate. "Oh, snap. Ken's not playing today," one fan tweeted, alongside a gif of popcorn being eaten, perfectly capturing the mood of the moment. Still, the original fan didn't back down. At Trivia Titan doubled down on their claim, pulling up what they called evidence in the form of a link to a questionable history blog. "See? He knew the streets like the back of his hand," they insisted. "Don't spread misinformation, even if it's for fun. Jeopardy! Hosts should know better." That's when things took an unexpected turn. Instead of engaging in further debate about Washington's directional sense, Ken pulled out the big guns, metaphorically, of course. His response was dripping with humor and sarcasm, leaving many stunned by his sharp retort. "At Trivia Titan, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but even I know not to trust blogs that still think the Earth is flat," he wrote. "If it makes you feel better, I'll personally apologize to George Washington next time we grab a coffee in the afterlife. But until then, you might want to take your own advice and fact-check your sources before you get lost on the trivia battlefield." Jennings punctuated the tweet with a winking emoji, leaving no doubt that he'd just landed a knockout punch in the digital spat. The internet erupted in laughter and admiration for the legendary trivia master's quick wit. "Oh my god, Ken just ended this dude's career," one fan joked, while another wrote, "Ken out here serving trivia with a side of savage. We are not worthy." Despite the humor, some fans couldn't help but notice that Jennings' spicy exchange seemed out of character for the usually affable host. After all, Ken had built a reputation not only for his intelligence but also for his good-natured interactions with fans. However, in the world of social media, where personalities collide and egos are on the line, even the nicest people have their moments. As the dust settled, some followers speculated whether the spicy exchange was a result of Ken feeling stir-crazy during his hiatus from hosting Jeopardy. With Mayim Bialik stepping in as the alternate host and the ongoing writers' strike keeping him off the set, perhaps Ken was itching to get back into the intellectual arena.